Hello friends, this is Monica Nagpal from Hope and Happiness. I work with women and children to help them bring out their inner potential to be happy and hopeful and to live a life of meaning and fulfillment and thus become exemplary. And I believe we can do this together. And in our current series, to become money wise, today I am in conversation with Tina Gera. So welcome, Tina.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
Welcome. So I will give a very brief intro to Tina and then she will take on. So Tina is a graduate from Miranda House, Delhi. She is a graduate of Economic Honors and she has done her post-graduation in management. She has worked for 10 years in companies like HDFC Bank and private banking group of Cholamangaluru Distribution. And very early in her career, she realized that the people were oblivious to the investing and personal finance. And all this jargon-laden approach will not give any advice to any of those people regarding the basic thing which is finance. She and her husband quit their jobs after about 10-15 years. And the reason was because they did not like the buzz of working in this fast-moving environment. And the targets and deadlines associated with jobs were actually hampering their intellect instead of enhancing it. So they both quit and then they have opened their own boutique financial firm, TG Financial Consultancies, in 2009. So welcome, Tina. Today we are going to understand more about the finances, about financial literacy, so to say, that how women now in India and over all the world also, you can say, not only in India but all over the world, how women are still financially literate or only financially empowered. That is the difference we are going to understand today. So welcome, Tina.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for giving a deep introduction. And about financial literacy and financial empowerment of women, I'll say, Indian women particularly Indian women are conditioned to believe that there is no need to worry about money. First, it's the father who is taking care. I mean, at least from our generation, at least we have seen that our father is there to take care of your financial needs, and the mother is there to take care of your household needs. They are definitely a part of the entire process, but as such, they were not part of any kind of decision which your father was taking. So primarily, after father is brother, or you can say husband if you get married, and then son manages the finance. Okay, and women just need to master the art of investing, basically. And savings comes naturally to women because women definitely saves. Your grandmother used to save the money, but investment was never part of their lives, frankly.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
So coming to actually the basics of what we are going to talk about today is that, so as you said, we have the women have never invested. So women have taken the back seat, but why do you think they have taken the back seat? Like, okay, we accept the fact that women have always taken a back seat, but why do you think have they taken a back seat?
They have taken a back seat because they are conditioned like that. Okay, that you are not good at numbers, and better you leave it to us. Frankly, right now, yes, women are encouraged to study. Okay, and but still, I believe women empowerment in financial this thing still have not taken place.
Yes. So we rightly said if you see, we have progressed to become doctors, engineers, computer scientists.
Yes.
But when coming to finances, I've seen that women are not taking. They are getting admissions also. They take
Yes.
admissions in B schools. They are doing their MBAs. But then coming up the ladder, then they are not to be seen. Yeah. So do you think we should be starting the whole literacy, the financial literacy subjects from the school itself?
I'll not say it should be. It should start from school, because then kids will going to take it as a just like what physics or what social science or any other subject. So it will be just like you mark the particular subject and only marks will happen. But it should be inculcated in a daughter or sons, whoever is the child, and it should be taught from childhood that importance of money, number one. Number two, they should be taught the importance once you grow up, how important the money is, because now the parents are also educated, both the parents generally, even if father is working, mother is a housewife, mother is working from home, or even if she is a housewife, at least they are telling their kids particularly, I'm not saying any gender wise, it's both girls and daughters, boys and daughters, everybody, that you should study. And so I think financial literacy will going to happen over a period of time, and it should be inculcated in children's mind from the start.
Okay, yeah. So to help the girl child also to become financially independent. So do you think we have taught them to become financially independent? We have taught them to earn. Financial independence is only about earning. They have started to earn. They have become financially independent, and because of this, they think that they are financially empowered. But do you think financially independence and financially empowerment is the same? Do you think how we can encourage them to become financially empowered now?
Financial empowerment will happen because right now at this point of time, what's happening that women are educating themselves, and if they are getting married and you have a biological age, you are having kids. What I have seen, I have met so many women, and particularly educated women who have left working, and they are not even aware what's happening with the money part. I generally encourage them to please read, because there are so many DIYs now available. So I just tell them that you read about them and get yourself known what's happening on the taxation part, and see how your father is doing or your husband is doing. I think it all depends upon your conditioning and how you grow up. And frankly, I started when I started out, I wanted to do chartered accountancy, but then I thought CA is little tough for me, because accountancy I was not too comfortable with, and I went ahead with the economics honors, and later MBA. And in my MBA, I took finance. There were just hardly 12 women in that, and out of I think 120, everyone was very surprised that why you are taking finance. And one teacher of mine, she said, why not finance? You can go ahead with the marketing of financial services. At that point of time, you understood, yes, you can go ahead with marketing of financial services also. And I've always been into marketing of financial services. So I have not changed. It's been almost 21 years now, and so we were just 12 people. Then there were 3 females, and out of those 3 females, I think one is married to a businessman, and I think उन्हीं उसी को join कर लिया है. And the second one shifted her line to HR. So they were mainly HR people, and she has shifted to HR, but yes, more towards insurance and or banking setup. Fair enough. That's a little almost similar line. Not exactly similar line, but yes, she was my colleague also in Cholamandalam. So I think it all depends, and her husband belongs to our industry, so she understands what's the what's the positives and negatives of our industry is. So that's the main thing.
I would just like to ask you, have you ever regretted that you would have become, because you didn't like numbers, accounts, so have you regretted that you would have become a doctor or probably an engineer?
No.
Earned more.
No.
And would have been a better life for you than this?
No, I don't think so. Seriously.
Did you
I never
up with finances then?
And my sister, who was a science student, at that point of time she said, no science for you, better you take commerce. So I took commerce, but I took commerce because my father wanted me that either I should be a lawyer or I should be a chartered accountant. So at that point of time, as kids, we were not we never had plans of future that much. But yes, I was aware, and management was coming up at that point of time. 21 years back, management was coming up. They were, so I think I have never regretted it.
Wonderful.
Never, no, not at all.
One misconception is like, it is not everybody who will not, every woman will not become a finance student, or she will not take up MBAs, or probably not become a CA, but still she has to be financially empowered. That is what I feel. And they feel that because they have a card, or they have a debit card or a credit card, and they feel very empowered that yes, we know how to manage our money. So please clearly.
It is not. It is not. Frankly, I will not say it's any kind of financial empowerment per se. It is definitely, you have a debit card. All banks will give a debit card. Generally, all banks give you a credit card. It is basically how you increase your corpus is the main thing, and how you increase the wealth. You need to understand the products. You need to understand where one should invest, so that your credit card and debit card primarily is for your spending, okay, and not for the not for your increasing the corpus per se.
Actually.
So yeah. So generally, I will not say that having a credit card or debit card, because once a woman starts working, all of them generally have their bank accounts. All of them generally get a debit or credit card, whatever. So
yes.
That is not a women empowerment yeah.
Very rightly said, Tina. It is all about spending the money and not managing or saving or investing. Credit card is only a plastic money where you have to spend money.
Because finally it's your own money. And
yes.
Credit card particularly, generally I say ki, even if you have to buy on a credit card, buy, but please pay on time.
Yes.
Don't take another credit card to pay that. So there are people who do that.
Right.
That you take another credit card and you pay the. You should not. I believe one should not buy anything on credit.
Yeah.
But even if you are buying anything on credit, because it's very very convenient, but you should not misuse that thing, that you can defer it.
Absolutely.
By taking another credit card. So
yes.
That's the main point.
At the end, I would like to ask some small tips or advice for the women so that they become money wise. Her whole program is about how women should become money wise. So, any tips regarding financial literacy, how they should become more financial literate and become money wise?
See, basically today, what I'll say, I mean, I met a client, and generally, if I meet client, generally it's men clients who are meeting me, and women are part of the decision making. Generally, now they are part of decision making. At one point of time, they were not even part of decision making. Now they are part of decision making. Okay, and I believe one should read. Number one, I have seen one woman. She was totally zero in this. She has read, and now she comes up with the questions. If you read, it's not a rocket science. Frankly, it's not a rocket science.
Absolutely.
If you read,
Absolutely.
it's not a rocket science. It's not like physics, or you have to launch a rocket. So you don't require that scientific knowledge or something like that. So you have to read it, and then you can read and ask the question about it to your husband, to your son, or whoever is managing your investment portfolios. So money wise, only then you can become. You have to ask the question, and even if you are taking a small steps, that's fine. So you take small steps and start investing. That's the main mantra of financial empowerment or financial literacy, you can say so.
Wonderful. So nicely said, Tina, that we have to take small baby steps also. That is also fine, even if we start small. Important
Yes.
is to become aware.
Aware, yeah.
You have to become money wise. No, it is not about our grandparents, our grandmothers, our mothers. They had saved money.
They had saved money. They were very good savers, but they were not investors.
They were not investors, and they didn't know it will grow. So now is the whole. Now we want everything to grow. Now we have to grow as a person first, and
Yes.
then it will help our money grow. So to become exemplary is important after you have become aware of your own inner growth. So once you have grown inside, you will be able to help that growth going outside. So it was wonderful speaking to you, Tina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming and enlightening us regarding this financial literacy. And I'm hoping that all the viewers who are watching, they will be really helped by your advice on how to become money wise. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste.